Hello guys and welcome to another video, and we got ourselves a new update 144, and with that update came 3 new cars. As you can see, it's the Lamborghini Urus R8 and we got this beautiful Toyota. I remember this one from quite a while. It was Gran Turismo 3 and I think I was grinding this one in Monaco. It was one of the most difficult ones, but I've managed to do that license test. It was pretty hard back in the day. So this week it is going to be a little bit more interesting. So we got ourselves a new lap time challenge, and here we got Fuji International Speedway with this Toyota GT1. So let's see what the leader did. So maybe I can just jump into the global leaderboards, and yes, it's here. We can have a look what the leader did. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty tricky car to drive because it's kind of old, so it's kind of not have all of those interesting technical things that really help you drive. But let's see. Second gear on the way out, he's braking. Oof. Actually braking pretty late. I wasn't expecting that he's gonna brake this late. Third gear, revving it up, 50 as per usual. A little bit before the 50. Third gear on the way out. We don't want to go too wide, just a tap on the brakes. We don't want to stop the car too much in here. Okay, third gear on the way out. This is gonna be the usual point. A little bit before the 50, down into first gear, second on the way out. Well, I honestly thought it was going to be third on the way out. Very, very wide. And now onto this little straight right here. Fourth gear. Dunlop sign. Again. Yeah, Dunlop sign it's going to be. First gear is going to be revving up in first or all the way. Okay. Second gear. Second gear out of this one. Downshift into first. Second gear on the way out. It's not third. Interesting. I think we can get more speed out of that one there. First gear again, then it's gonna be second, okay. Really revving it up, second gear, first gear, and then second gear on the way out of this one as well. I think this car is gonna be pretty tricky to drive, but I will try to do my best here. I know it's not going to be easy, and the time is, I think the time is 1:31 in here. Okay, 1:31. Let's see. Let's see what I can do. Whoa. Okay. He does slide quite a lot. And now let's get going with my fastest lap. So here I will try to explain how I did it and exactly what you need to do to achieve the goal. So here, this is the 150, or you can brake just as you reach the stage on the left. Brake in the straight line. Once you reach the 50, try turning in, and also try to grab the inside of this curb. This really means a lot. Also, I kind of missed it in here, but it's also really important to keep the momentum going. So second gear on the way out, not first. In first you will most likely spin, so always use second and always rev up the gear. So here we usually use something in between the 50 and the 100, and this is the dot on the right, so you can use that one and brake just at about, I would say, 50%. I did brake at about 75%, which is quite enough. I mean, it's enough, but it really takes a bit of speed out of you, so it's, I believe, ideal is to brake at a 50. Here, just a little tap on the brakes, nothing too much. You don't have to downshift, although I did downshift. You can keep it in third, and then you can start to accelerate once you pass the road on the right, which is usually a good indicator. Now we got the sign once again on the right. This is where you need to brake. Just make sure that you start turning, but when you start turning you need to let go off the brakes. So this is really important. So when you start turning, you need to let go off the brakes, or you're slowly starting to trail braking. You can go wider here, although I do suggest keeping it on the curb. It can be really slippery outside and you can lose the car, so that's quite, well, that's quite a risky line to get. So here it's the Dunlop sign, and this is where you brake mostly in the straight line, but I do suggest trying to turn in a little bit sooner than usual. This car has downforce, you can really use it, and then try to use all of this curb. You can even use more of this curb. And first gear on the way out, second gear as you upshift, be ready for the acceleration. Don't go up in first and then just upshift as you're already in the power. This will cause the car to slide. So here it's the left side. You can use this one as a braking reference. Just a little tap on the brakes, nothing too much. You can see maybe 25-30%. Keep it like that. Take the inside of this curb as well, and then get it into that second gear. It can be quite slippery, as you can probably tell here. The car slides a lot, but just try to keep it under control. Here, it's well, it's the end of the curb on the left. A little bit of braking, 25-30%, it's ideal. Get the car into first gear. Once again, upshift into that second gear to prevent the car from sliding too much. And then once you straighten up the wheel, you can start accelerating to 100%. So here, you can either use the left or the right side, but I usually use that Marshall boot on the left. 50% of braking, don't try to turn in too much while you brake. This will cause the car to kind of extend its braking zone. Make sure that you understand how this works, because mostly it's turning and braking in the straight line, and then when you reach the curb on the right, this is where you start to accelerate and full power out. So just make sure that you straighten up the car before you start accelerating up to 100%. And okay, in the end, a couple of tips from my side. As you can probably tell, this car is pretty old. It's just about 25 years old, and the things that work with normal, well, let's say newer editions of, let's say, Group 2, Group 3 cars don't work with this one. So you have to be extremely careful on the acceleration, otherwise this car is going to slide. So what I do suggest is always trying to get the car as straight as possible when you're trying to accelerate. For example, here, never start to accelerate in first, always do it in second. Even in second, you have to be extremely careful that the car doesn't slide. So in general, as you can probably tell, it has a lot of downforce, so when you reach a certain speed, it's pretty stable, so nothing will happen. So in this one, I will suggest, I'm definitely going to suggest not to trail brake too much, because it's not that great on the brakes, and turning and braking doesn't work with this car a lot. So you can trail brake, you can still trail brake, but you're really not going to get the same effect like with the normal, let's say, newer Group 3, Group 4, and even Group 2 cars, and even newer of those Group 1 cars, especially hybrids. It doesn't work as a hybrid, it's not a hybrid, and you just have to just drive it in a much different way. So here, it will be second on the way out, but I do once again suggest keep it at about 60-70%, and then when you kind of get the wheel straightened up, this is where you can start accelerating to 100%. Otherwise, you're really risking that slide. Here again, brake more in the straight line, and already when the car stops, only then you start turning in, and also when the car gets off the brakes. Second gear here, do not touch this cone. I had a couple of laps invalidated here, and it does make a difference. And also here, you don't have to downshift into second gear, but make sure once again that you don't touch that cone. It's going to invalidate your lap. Second gear on the way out, make sure that the car is straightened up, otherwise you will get something like this. Then first gear here if you need it, and second gear, be ready for that acceleration, but don't be like, I would say, don't be too aggressive. Be really gentle on the accelerator, and you will have a better result like that. So steady wins this one. So even here, like, I notice that it can pretty easily spin you out like this one. So I do suggest keeping it about 50-60% and only then accelerating. And okay, 35th place in the world, and as we go to the rankings board, you will see that the first one is 31.1. I know this is going to be a really popular time trial because it's actually a pretty fun one to do. So the times, as you can probably tell, are really close, and the time for the gold is just at about 1:33. So it's going to be, I'm not going to say that it's going to be easy to get it, but it's going to be, well, I think it's going to be pretty decent, or you're not going to struggle too much to get this one done. So 33.8, 35.6, I don't think it's going to be too much of a struggle to get this one under a 34. So guys, really let me know what you think about this one. I think this is a good addition into the game. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video, and until the next time, bye.